What is up, Precalculus? This is lesson 84. Our objective is how do you use the product, sum, and different identities. And, well, the first ones here are the product identities. And the product identities are simply that if you have the product of like cosine times cosine, sine times sine, or sine times cosine, or cosine times sine of different angles, that you can use this to calculate them. So this one here is one like that. It says write the product as a sum or a different with positive arguments. So what we're going to do is we are going to rewrite this. So in this case, we have sine times cosine. So we're going to use this one here. And so then sine, this is going to be the A, this is going to be the B, and then notice we do have this 1/2 or this 2 out in front. So I'm just going to write that 2 out in front, and then I'm going to say this is equal to, I should say this is equal to 1/2 times, or 2 times 1/2 of sine of 131 plus 48, because that's from right here, plus sine of 131 minus 48. And it's actually 1/2 times both of those. So let's see, 131 plus 48 is going to be 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 179. So sine of 179, if you want to do it like that, plus sine of 83. Now notice if I were to multiply this 1/2 times the 2 times the 1/2, those just become 1, so it's 1 times all of this. If you want to write it this way, or you don't have to, either way, that's going to be your answer right there. Alright, now this says find the exact value of these. So notice this is sine sine. So this is going to be 1/2 times cosine of 7 pi over 12 minus pi over 12 minus cosine of 7 pi over 12 plus pi over 12. I just followed that identity from the previous page. So this is going to be, and this one says the exact value of each expression, so we're going to try to get this down to a number. 1/2 times cosine, well this is going to be 6 pi over 12. 6 pi over 12 is the same thing as pi over 2. Minus cosine of, let's see, this is going to be 8 pi over 12, which is the same thing. 4 goes into that, 4 goes into that 2 times, 4 goes into that 3 times, so 2 pi over 3. So this is going to be 1/2 times cosine of pi over 2. Cosine, remember, is the x value. So it's going to be 0 minus cosine of 2 pi over 3. 2 pi over 3 is going to be negative 1/2, so minus 1/2. So this is going to be 1/2 times 1/2, because the negative makes it positive. So this is going to be 1/4. Alright, now this is what we call the sum and difference identities. These here that I'm marking with red are what we call the sum identities. These I'm marking with blue, we call the difference identities because, well, just simply because they have a sum or difference of two angles. Okay, so this one just says simplify. Now notice though it says simplify and it gives us something more over here. And it wants to simplify it down to something like this. Okay, so notice this is cosine, cosine, minus sine, sine. So notice these cosines have cosine, cosine, sine, sine, whereas the sines have sine, cosine, cosine, sine. So I'm going to look at this one right here, because this matches cosine, cosine, minus sine, sine. So it looks to me like this piece right here is what they're marking as alpha, and this piece here is the beta. And again, that matches over here. This is the alpha, and this is the beta. So then this whole thing is going to simplify down to cosine of -6 theta plus 2 theta. Well, that's just going to be cosine of -4 theta. Simplified down. This next one I have sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Sine, cosine, cosine, sine. It's a minus in the middle, so that means I'm going to use this one. So this is my alpha again. This is my beta. Alpha, beta. So this comes out to be sine of 4v minus 6v, which is just equal to sine of -2v. This is needing to verify those identities. So using those identities that we just had on the other page, this whole thing, this is, I'm going to call my alpha, and this I'm going to call my beta. So this is going to be tangent of 180 minus tangent of theta over 1 plus tangent of 180 times tangent of theta. Well, if we look at tangent of 180, remember that's sine over cosine, so tangent of 180 degrees is going to equal to 0 over -1, which is equal to 0. So then this identity is going to come out to be 0 minus tangent of theta over 1 plus 0 times tangent of theta. Well, 0 times any number is just 0. So this, the top comes out to be negative tangent, and the bottom is just 1, so it's going to be negative tangent of theta. And that is exactly what I was trying to prove it to be, was negative tangent of theta. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, let's try another one here. So this 270 is going to be my alpha, theta is going to be my beta. Remember, sine is the sine, cosine, cosine, sine, with the same ones in the middle here. So this is going to be sine of 270 times cosine of theta plus cosine of 270 times sine of theta. So let's come back and look at our unit circle here. 270 is right here. So my sine, my y value, is -1, and my cosine value is 0. So my sine is -1. So that means this is going to come out to be -1 times cosine of theta plus 0 times sine of theta. Well, that part just becomes 0. And this becomes negative cosine of theta. And that is what we were trying to show. Alright, and then one more of these. One more, and I'll help you with one more. Now it says find the exact value. And well, if you look at the unit circle for 75 degrees, well, here's 60 and here's 90. We don't have 75 degrees. However, if we go to my thought bubble up here in the corner, I realize that 75 is the same thing as 45 plus 30. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this as cosine of 45 plus 30. Now it looks just like this. So now I can use this identity and the values of cosine and sine that I already know from my unit circle to calculate this exactly without a calculator. So what I can do here, this is going to come out to be cosine of 45 degrees times cosine of 30 degrees minus sine of 45 degrees times sine of 30 degrees. Cosine of 45 degrees is square root of 2 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees is the x value, so it's going to be the square root of 3 over 2 minus sine of 45 is the square root of 2 over 2, and then multiplied by sine of 30, which is 1/2. So this comes out to be the square root of 6 over 4 minus the square root of 2 over 4, which comes out to be the square root of 6 minus the square root of 2 over 4. This is the exact answer. You could calculate it further if you want to approximate, but that's the exact answer. Now I'm not going to work out number 20, but just the radians are a little bit harder for me to calculate in my mind, so just a little hint. 11 pi over 12 is the same thing as 2 pi over 3 plus pi over 4. The homework's a worksheet, so make sure you pick that up.